When you look towards the LMS, he spotted out Xiaoxi. He found Wink, the backup AD carry that came from RNG, and then looking towards the remainder of Royal Club, Royal Youth even, and also looking at Young Miracles, brought in Xiaobai, Wei and Crying. And don't forget, Wei wasn't even the starting jungler on that roster. Wei was the substitute behind Sixu, but is put on a clinic every time we see this guy on the Rift.
It's time to find out how they'll fare here. And we have to bear in mind the expectations for this game. eStar, the #1 in the LPL so far. On just standings alone, eStar are the heavy favorite against DMO. But it's important to mention that against the lower tier teams, eStar have uncharacteristic struggles.
And it comes back to this even to behind situation where eStars maybe haven't studied their opponents in depthly, and if they don't hit this mid-game running, they start to make uncharacteristic mistakes. They're a little bit greedy, they get caught out on Crying, not getting a back off before a dragon fight that is crucial to eStars, and this could be where DMO can start to push their advantage. But DMO are a team that struggle in accelerating their games if they're ahead. They've got the longest win time because they don't know how to use the pressure they've gotten from Tier 1, Tier 2 towers going down, or even picking up Rift Heralds where they should.
Xiaoxi's going to get a ward for level 2. You saw it in a previous game, you tweeted about it, the Xiaoxi level 2. He didn't get the ward alone though, so the XP will be shared there, so maybe not quite as significant, but even still.
So I like what eStars are doing here. eStar's composition is looking to play towards Crying and play towards Wink. Xiaobai will be left on his own in the top. They want to get both these carries rolling, so by splitting the map like this, it lets Wei go for an early play, and this is classic Wei, go for the early level 2 gank, but Gala and Mark are expecting it.
Gonna move over and drop the ward in Tribrush. I'm not sure, I don't think they actually spotted him with the ward, so Wei will be able to return to his jungle unspotted, even though he did attempt the play, didn't have to overcommit.
Even if they don't get the play, it's still allowing Wink and Xiaoxi to play aggressive. Still allowing Crying to play aggressive in this mid lane as well. And when they hit this mid game, when we're looking at that 15 to 20 minute mark, that's where eStar are going to be really strong, because Wink is going to be coming up on these 2 items. Xie hasn't quite come online yet, and Crying can do work in these fights with the phase rush as well to make sure he's maneuvering into the correct positions. It's also just such a strong frontline heavy engage tool for them as well.
Xiaoxi doing a lot in this bottom lane, getting tons of CC down for Wink to follow up on. And Wei, he walked across a ward. I don't think knowing that his hair is going to do much though. Xiaopeng moving in to turn this into a 3v3, but the dive comes on through. Knockup going to be there. First blood goes the way of Xiaoxi. Can they survive though as Xiaopeng comes in? Trades the kill 1-for-1 now. Flash forward. Mark trying to get onto Wink, who will pull himself to safety. There's another knockup. Mark might just go down here. One more auto, and Wink gets a second.
They're not done yet. Wei wants to go again. He's waiting on cooldowns.
They've certainly got the minion wave for it. Xiaopeng has no flash. It's just been used there, and it's a double kill for Wink, but he takes too many tower shots. It's an execute.
So they do manage to get the kill and potentially get away scot-free. Wink does go down, but it's a quicker back for Wink in this scenario. The wave was already pushed in. He's not missing out on any CS. And this was DMO trying to read the play in the same way LGD did. Peanut read that they were going for this play. Oh, hang on. No. Anyway, Peanut read this play, and on LGD, with the Sejuani shut it down. They tried to do the same, but give over 3 kills instead.
Xiaoxi wants to join in the mid lane. Wei goes in, but just takes a little chunk from Xie. Not quite going to be able to force the play that he wanted. Now trading in the top lane as well. Natural wanting a solo kill on Xiaobai, searing charge away. Xiaobai gets away with his life.
eStar starting to move here again. This is where DMO are trying to put pressure on towards the top side. I'm surprised to see Xiaopeng come down, but I think it was the correct call, but unfortunately the execution wasn't quite there. Now though, with this bottom lane play going so poorly, needs to focus their strongest side of the map. Natural versus Xiaobai. If they can help Natural start to get ahead, they can force these teleport advantages for themselves. You can even see it at the moment. Natural has a small window where his teleport will be available, and then they can look to turn bottom lane in their favor and be in control of the game to give Xie time to scale.
I love the cameras on mid lane. It dramatically zooms out as Xiaoxi's there waiting in the wings. It's like something out of a horror film. Xie needs to be careful. Xiaoxi has spent more time roaming around the map than he has in bottom lane so far this game.
It does mean he's a little bit behind when it, well, I was going to say when it comes to the experience mark, but unfortunately Mark has been trying to roam around to match it and still level 2 on this Taric, which is a big factor. If you're not hitting this level 6 as the Rift Herald starts to spawn, well then Xiaoxi is far more useful than Mark in these scenarios. The CC that you provide, a much more tankier front line, and the potential maybe to hit that level 6 before eStar roam up towards the Rift Herald could be make or break in the scenario for the Rift Herald fight.
Yeah, and when you bring up the Rift Herald, one of the weird things about eStar, because it's kind of counter to all the other top teams, is they don't actually have that much focus on the Rift Herald. They tend to focus on towards the Dragon instead, quite often sacrificing Rift Heralds to go for early Dragons.
This has been where their favorite is, getting these early Dragons so they can force fights on their terms around that 3rd to 4th Dragon. eStar, despite being the top team in the league, have only averaged about 50% of the Rift Heralds in their games. It has all been about this objective that we're seeing picked up right now. And if they are continuing in this game to stack up these Dragons, well again, they can force DMO to react before Xie has really got rolling on this castle.
Look at the CS deficit already starting to build up in this bottom side of the map. Wink giving them his cheeky little namesake there in the bottom side, knowing that he has a massive advantage off of the tower dives that came on through. On his first recall, he was able to complete his tier 2 boots. That is disgusting, especially for a Varus that gets extra damage on every auto from his W passive.
And in this lane specifically as well, Wink and Xiaoxi would have been struggling a little bit coming into Gala and Mark because there's so much healing that can come through from the Taric. The Taric can do a good job of setting up a stun as well to allow Gala to escape. So this was a lane Wink and Xiaoxi should have been behind in, but because Wei put so much pressure there, now the eStar bottom lane can shine and allow Wei to go for these aggressive plays where he's invading the enemy jungle and picking off some of these objectives. It's matching the top lane, but Xiaobai is trying his best to force them back.
Xiaobai is actually going to be able to contest for the Krugs there. I thought he was going to be able to get the Krug. I think he might have, you know, even though this smite went down. I feel like the goal popped up for him. Wei and Crying, though, they know where Xiaopeng is, and they're like, maybe we can make a play bot side. They decide to back away in the end as Mark and Gala did vanish.
They did vanish, but so is their turret plates. Look how much aggression Wink and Xiaoxi have been allowed to put forward onto this.
Oh no, Crying misses his ultimate there, but the rest of the squad is here, so it's okay. What a prediction! Xiao Bai! Call of the Forge God right there.
And now bottom lane turret is going to go down because Mark isn't there. This is before Rift Herald even spawns. So yes, Natural will answer with this in the top lane, but the problem is you now got Wink and Xiaoxi who can rotate towards the top side and try and secure the Rift Herald. Xiaopeng is trying to answer this as quickly as possible. He's stealing away the Rift Herald before eStar can react.
And look at this, once again, even though they get the kill mid, no presence around this Rift Herald from the side of eStar. We said it earlier, they only have a 50% take rate on those Heralds in general.
And this is because Wei, after he made the play, didn't go to secure that area. Instead, teetered off into the bottom side to try and clear off some of these camps. And it meant that, okay, well, look, eStar are giving over the Rift Herald objective. But this is actually a pretty big issue here because, yes, they're 3k gold ahead, but Natural.
Wei's going to try and make a play up towards the top side. Xiaobai getting pretty low, though. Natural trying to do the work. Xiaobai gets the knock up, then flashes away. 1v1 here. Cataclysm comes on through. Natural flashing. He's slowed, and the Dragon Strike will finish it. Too late to the party, Xiaopeng.
One more auto attack on Xiaobai would have been enough, but they couldn't quite eke it out. And Wei will get that kill back over. So unfortunately, though, there's nothing in this top lane for them to grab. So Wink and Xiaoxi will be just looking to try and force this objective using just the raw power they picked up with the Cutlass and the recurve bow. However, when you've got Xiaopeng here who can move down towards the bottom side, they've already secured 4 plates on the top. Move Xiaopeng down with the help of Natural, try and answer for the aggression on the top side of the map. And now Natural's in this fantastic spot. You can see it in the items he's picked up. Black Cleaver already completed against Xiaobai, and now can start to work on the Blade of the Rune King.
Yeah, and you can see how rough that matchup is for the side of Xiaobai. He's 40 CS down in that top lane.
And that's why he went for, well, we saw a natural go for the Black Cleaver first. You're into this heavily armored matchup. The getting all this armor reduction off is going to be so much more important against the Horn. So he delays the Blade of the Rune King, gets the CDR and the cleave that's super useful against the Ornn, and sets himself up.
Now looking towards the bottom lane play from the side of DMO. Bear in mind the Rift Herald going to be there for Xiaopeng. Can drop it to finish this bottom lane tower off. Xiaobai, see him backing away here. He respects that this is going to be coming through. All 4 members committed.
And that means Bulwark is going to be a little bit of a pain, but it doesn't matter because they're clearing through this so quickly that they should be able to finish this one off. So we're going answer for answer, and eStar will be able to back away here and still be able to react to this Rift Herald on the tier 2. So Wink now is the carry for eStar. He has so much gold.
Okay, there's another minion wave. I thought Gala wasn't going to be able to finish the turret then. That would have been disaster for DMO. But once again, despite eStar not focusing on towards this Herald, the objective is pretty much neutral.
And this is how eStar have always played with Rift Herald. Is, okay, cool, we'll give this across to you, but if you're behind in pace, you can't answer as quickly as we do. So now eStar is setting up mid to start pushing over towards the actual objective they are fond of, which is that dragon.
They've got 3 minutes here. They could look towards a 15-plate game. They've already finished bot and top.
They need to give time to Wink to back, though. He's sitting on a lot of gold right now.
No time. No time whatsoever. They want to make a fight in the bottom side. Way is here. Cataclysm is going to be available, but they don't need it. There we go. Now onto the likes of Marcus. Cryin looks for a double for himself.
And this was coming back to Mark with these early game roams. Losing out on so much golden experience, Mark doesn't have that Cosmic Radiance to help out in that scenario. Now when the dragon fight comes up, eStar secure themselves easily this dragon with no contestation coming in from DMO. And eStar, 12 minutes into this game, this gold lead is starting to expand very rapidly, Munch.
These guys play at breakneck pace. Now onto a second dragon as well at 12 minutes into the game. Xiaopeng is like, well, I guess I'll take a red buff. That's my only consolation prize. But he can see the game falling apart around him. Already the gold lead is 4,000 for eStar.
And you're going to start to see it come through in these items now as well. Cryin has completed this Eris, but
they're going for Cryin. Nice little sidestep, dodging everything and dealing out the damage. Xiaopeng gets absolutely outplayed. Cryin is a monster.
He is so damn good, and now he's picked up 4 kills for himself. As he said, the Archangel Staff was finished. Now look at the items that Wink has just picked up, backing away. Blade of the Rune King completed, working up towards that Runin's Hurricane as well. This is eStar coming into their own, and Way even with a cheeky little steal on the camps.
Gets to go in the bottom side of the jungle because he knows that Cryin doesn't need no help up at the top side. He can happily 1v2. And this is the thing about this team. We mentioned it before. When they're behind, they do struggle sometimes, but when they are ahead, they are unstoppable.
And it's because of the way that they control the game. They're always focused on just the dragon. The Rift Herald they don't care about. So they're happy to go and trade this bottom lane tier 1 for the Rift Herald because it gets all this gold and experience over towards Wink. They'll then happily go and return because, look, you've shared all this gold off of the Rift Herald play across multiple different members, whereas Wink specifically has all our gold. So our AD carry is so much stronger than yours that when we start to rotate around the map and Wink is now on top side against your AD carry, we're in a better position because we have a much more fulfilled AD carry.
Pulling out a massive, massive tempo advantage and then playing off the back of that. You see Gala just going to be able to try and close this farm gap, but when you look at the difference between these two AD carries, Blade of the Rune King already finished up. There's a bonus crit cape in there as well for the likes of Wing. On the other side of the board, Gala really struggling to finish this first time.
Now we see the perfect 50% on this Rift Herald and how eStars play. eStars will always contest for the second Rift Herald because they know, hey, we're in the lead, we have this advantage. So now grouped as 4 moving in towards this Rift Herald and keeping control of the objective, eStars will look to crack open this mid lane tier 1 with the Rift Herald and then control the pace of the game by moving into the jungle of DMO, wards down all over the place, and then looking towards the next objective, which is the dragon, in just 2.5 minutes.
And once these objectives are available on the map, eStar after the first one, after they've foregone the first one to get extra plates to give themselves a lead, they then basically say, okay, any objective on the map is an opportunity for us to fight you and for us to snowball the lead even further.
And that's what we just saw. They didn't need the Rift Herald here for the mid lane tower, so now that snowball that we just talked about is even harder to slow down from DMO. Because now instead of using that Rift Herald to take down a tier 1, they're going to be using it on a tier 2. And they can even use it to try and split up DMO for this third dragon. Throw it down in towards the mid lane as you shove in the wave. Forces members like Xie, like Xiaopeng to try and defend that mid lane tier 2, which means that eStars can rotate over then towards the dragon. And eStars are so far ahead, you cannot try and contest as DMO right now.
One of the biggest issues for the side of DMO as well is their strongest member by far is going to be Natural on this Renekton in the top side of the, well, currently in the bottom side of the map, but has that 50 CS lead. He's got a good amount of damage for himself, and in this situation, when the rest of the map is a little bit more neutral, that's a huge issue in the side lane. There's a lot of pressure onto a tier 2. But now Xiaobai can comfortably contest him because he knows if Natural overcommits to a fight, the rest of the squad from eStars will be on their way.
The only issue at the moment for eStars is that Natural still has the teleport advantage. But I think even in a 4v5, there's still eStars in the victory here. Wink is so far ahead. Crying with the miasma can make it very difficult for Xiaopeng and Natural to move in and try and be the aggressors in this fight. Ideally, DMO want to try and look for flanks with Natural and Xie. But unfortunately, because they've lost control around the map in general, but also specifically around this dragon, moving Xie and Natural into positions where they can try and make those plays is much more difficult, especially if Natural is trying to TP into a fight.
Wink is finished. Oh, Wink has finished his Hurricane there, so you can see that gold lead visualized now as he's a full item up on the likes of Gala. And if you think about the history for Wink, bear in mind this guy was on RNG for over a year. He was in the substitute position behind Uzi. He was in the position that Betty is now, and he managed to get 5 main roster games on the likes of RNG. Similarly to Betty, right before Chinese New Year. That's when he found his time on the LPL stage.
And he looked fantastic in those games on the Varus, and we're seeing it once again here for eStars. Once this Varus pick comes back in, Wink is very, very comfortable. And especially when he's got the likes of Xiaoxi supporting him. Coming over from the Flash Wolves, Xiaoxi in week 1 looked fairly dodgy to begin with. The Leonas were not working out. But since then, Xiaoxi has moved into support of his own. Has now drawn in second for the most MVPs in all of LPL. His Thresh is on point, his Blitzcrank is amazing, and his Nautilus is pushing DMO into the ground.
Loves playing on these champions that he can force objectives with, that he can force plays with, because that ultimately is what Xiaoxi is at his core. He's a playmaker. He's the kind of guy that's going to take you from a neutral position, find the perfect pick, and accelerate you a lead.
And that's exactly what eStars have done here. Still though, we want to see them accelerate a little bit more. Rift Herald in the hands of Wei, nearly about to time out. So this is where they need to try and make some sort of play, but they don't really feel the pressure to right now. They just picked up the Dragon for free. There's Rift Herald. Yeah, you can toss it down the mid if you really want to try and get some vision around this Baron, but overall the word is the oyster right now.
And it's kind of a weird situation to be looking at, because when we talk about the priority on Dragons, that's one of DMO's biggest strengths. That's typically what we expect from DMO, is that they'll focus on towards the Dragons, and when they have won games, that's been where they find the acceleration for their wins. But when you're against a team like eStar, that's also heavy preference, here we go, don't have time for that one, Wei's locked up, but immediate trade back, the Herald gets the charge in. Even with just 4 members, eStar muscle the Herald in.
Well, this is the problem DMO are having. They're trying to open up the map with Xie playing off to a side wing and allowing Natural to bully Xiaobai in the bottom lane. But because eStar are already controlling these waves and pushing them in, the pressure Xie and Natural are actually getting on the map is pretty negligible. So they just group as 4 and force objectives off of the plays anyway, and there's not much they can do.
TP coming from Xie, though, down in the bottom side. They're looking for a pick onto Xiaobai. Xie, though, has the Riftwalk. I don't think you ever escape this one. And gifting the kill to the Kassadin, definitely the right thing to do.
It's the wrong play to make, though, because eStars are now able to crack open the base. Yes, you get the Ornn, but the Ornn's on distraction duty. He's just trying to stop Natural from getting towards the tier 2.
And it's exactly what we saw towards the start of the game. eStar, they're playing with tempo. They're playing with the advantage on where they are in the map. And so every play that DMO makes, eStar has an answer.
And this is the problem and the fallacy that a lot of teams fall into, is trying to stop Xiaobai. Xiaobai is not the issue on this team. Xiaobai is only there to distract you from the bigger issues of Crying, Wink, Xiaoxi, and Wei helping them take over the game. Now DMO have fallen into the same trap. They've lost their base. And Xiaobai has done incredible at turning around plays that are made against them. Not quite here today, but still this rookie top laner was left with no resources for so long, has now learned to play an incredibly strong weak side top lane and has shored up eStar's defenses in so many ways.
Yeah, he's playing the weak side, but he certainly isn't a weakness for the squad. And DMO, we have to say it, they've got Kassadin, right? We're in the LPL here. You can never quite count a Kassadin out. The gold's still only 5,000 ahead, in fact 4,000 ahead for eStars. And we're getting later on into this game. Xiaobai's bullied out in the bottom lane. Xie is going to come online. His Rod of Ages has 10 stacks. He's finished his... Oh, he's got his Archangels. It's not quite the Seraphs just yet, but it's on its way. He's going to become an issue, especially if he can get onto Wink. Xiaobai, though, wants to fight onto Mark. Not a ton of damage going to be coming out from the Ornn, and the rest of the squad not able to group up quite in time.
They're trying to force either this mid lane inhibitor to get the TP out of Natural. They're going to back away towards Baron, so Natural has to join with the team here and can continue this split push on the bottom side.
He's going to go for the recall, maybe buy up before this potential Baron fight. Xiaopeng going to face check, though. There's a good stun, but it's going to be Zhonya's by Wei. Cosmic Radiance will keep Mark alive for a moment, but there's a stun onto Xie. He was the hero that they needed, and he has to walk away from the fight. Knockups galore. Xiaoxi walks away, and it's all gone wonderfully for Wink as he picks up a double.
And eStars bait DMO into the brush. They don't need the Baron right now because they've already cracked the base. They can put down pressure points all over on DMO, and their DMO are crumbling.
The fact that they could catch out Xie towards the start of the fight, force the Kassadin away, that was the win condition. That was the one advantage DMO could pull off.
And DMO were trying to enable Xie in that fight. They had the Cosmic Radiance onto the Kassadin, but a brilliant petrifying gaze from Crying locks any sort of rebuttal down, and DMO will fall flat. Xiaopeng, though, should not have been moving in here by himself. This was a big mistake. I'll have to double check because I didn't actually see if anyone has any scrying orbs. Could have checked the pit already. It could have been on cooldown. But when you face check into eStars with Nautilus, with Ornn, with Jarvan, you are never going to have a fun time, especially when you're this far behind.
And there were a couple of scrying orbs in the inventories there for DMO. Could have been on cooldown, but ultimately, eStar off the back of that one, they just found themselves a Dragon Soul. It's an Infernal Soul, no less. So if they already had an advantage in strength, it's just tripled for themselves. And then there's a Mercurial Scimitar in the inventory for Wink as well. It's all looking fine and dandy.
Xiaopeng and Natural are down on the bottom side of the map. eStars will pick up this Baron. And again, when eStars are ahead, there is no letting off the gas. Always aggressing, always pushing their advantage, and now at 23 minutes into this game, it's 11-2, and now Munchables, we're starting to see that big gold lead coming in for eStars.
I honestly feel like eStar is this classic team that comes in, and it's the story of if you... Oh, hang on. Wink getting caught out does have the QSS, though, from his Mercurial Scimitar. Means he can walk away. Suddenly, Xiaopeng finds himself alone. Cataclysm after the flash. He's gonna go down. And what looks like a great opportunity is thwarted by gold lead alone.
To give DMO their due, though, they're not just sitting down and letting eStar dictate the pace to them. They're trying to make these plays happen. Unfortunately, though, it is too late in this game. The early game snowball started for eStars, and teams like IG, Top Esports, and now DMO have all felt the brunt of this.
Xie looking for a flank. Mark just gets pushed out of here. piercing arrow doing so much work on top of the Infernal Drake procs. Mark is forced back to base, and that means his top lane inhibitor will be taken down. It opens up the map. If eStar can't end in the next couple of minutes, they can always fall back on towards a Drake, but they don't need to. There goes Gala. The veteran of this DMO squad has fallen. Now with Xiaobai escorting minions. In fact, they don't need the ones in the mid lane. They're just going to go through top. They've got the Baron buff. That's going to be one Nexus Tower falling. And now final stand for DMO if they want to try and survive in this game. Here we go, Natural goes in, flashes for the stuns. Going to get onto the backline. Wink is actually very low and will be taken down by Xie. Cosmic Radiance keeps the Castellan alive. There's a Zhonya's on top of it. Way the next target, finished off for a double kill. Crying exhausted. Xie, this is his chance. There's a stun. There's a triple kill. Looking for the quadra now as Xie, the hero that they needed, popping off. But Xiaobai's on, so it just doesn't matter.
That was so close. I thought we were going to have the return pentakill. I thought DMO had maybe found the fight. But Xiaobai, who's been so quiet throughout this game, slaps down DMO once more. And eStars, they do not finish the game. But it's still eStars looking like one more tune and they'll finish off DMO.
I mean, just take another look at this. It's the combo that they'd set up with this Tarek pick in the first place. Cassidy able to run rampant.
And this was where we were talking about, hey, DMO are going to be really strong. Once they get to this level 11 Cassidy, even higher than that now, if we were on even footing, yes, they'd be able to do a lot. Xie, though, is fast approaching that level 16 mark. So in this perfect scenario where Xie has access to the backline, they burst at Wink. Exhaust for crying, they can win the team fight. Unfortunately, though, that combo, that masterpiece of an orchestra that came in that team fight is no longer there for DMO. And eStars, well, Elder Dragon is up in a minute 35. That looks like the objective that they want to take to finish out this game.
But so much gold for Xie there. He turned a stopwatch into a complete Zhonya's, and he also got a needlessly large rod off the back of that one. Huge, huge gold spike on the Castellan. If they can pull the same combo off, it could look miraculous. One of the most important things was the exhaust on Crying.
Exhaust is down. There's also now a stopwatch picked up for Wink, so he's got added safety in this next fight. Seraphs is there at least for the Cassiopeia as well, so a little bit of easier time for eStars. And they're not even caring about this dragon. They want to try and crack open this bottom inhibitor turret.
They're going to try to, but without Baron, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to achieve a siege here. And they don't have the mid or the top waves with them right now. They don't have pressure in any other lane.
Minions will slowly but surely be pulling in on that top side, though. You can see double super creep in that wave. So DMO really have to send someone to deal with it. And that will be the go button for eStars here. Look towards Xiaobai's Call of the Forge God as this top wave crashes.
Love the positioning there from Xie, posturing, saying, I'm willing to go in if you commit to this dive. And now, one of the big things is Xie is incredibly good at dealing with these super minions, can get through them very fast. The minion wave in the bottom lane, not going to be there just yet. They need to clear these supers quickly if they want to defend their inhib.
eStars have collapsed onto the turret, though. Creeps are just conga lining their way in, but the timing wasn't quite there, so eStars aren't able to make the play happen. But the Elder Dragon is available.
And now, DMO have to move out of their stronghold, out of their fortress, and in towards the likes of eStar. That ward did a lot of work to give them vision onto where eStar were posturing. But now the Elder Dragon, this could be the game-deciding moment.
But look at the base. There's super creeps pouring into DMO's base. They have to make the play here. Xie is going to go and back away, as the Elder Dragon will be started up in a moment by eStars once Xie is shown.
He's going to show in the bottom side as he clears away these supers. Does have his teleport available, but immediately eStar start the Dragon. This is their win condition. This is how they finish things off. Xie has finished off the supers. The Dragon actually resets. Xiaopeng goes in. Teleport channeled by Xie. The rest of the team might not survive long enough though. 3,000 on the Dragon. Now 2. They're going to be looking for the smite, but weighs the target. Does get the Elder. Cosmic Radiance. But the rest of the team is already dead. Mark will fall. It's another bunch of kills for the carries. And Xie was too late to his own birthday.
Gonna be put into the pen as eStars finish off this game.
I mean,
Like
Xie, I don't think they can kill him, but it doesn't really matter. Xiaobai's on the base, Cryan is here. They will finish the Nexus. Wink arrives to execute Xie for the performance that he's put on, but eStar, incredibly strong early game, and they finish it off with the Elder.
What we expect.